Hi, I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce. I'm so excited to have Sean Glavin here. He's partner at Lockton Companies, a friend of the chamber, a friend of mine, and somebody that I think I could talk to for hours, but we'll try not to do that today.
Danielle, thanks for having me. Love your platform. Love getting to connect with you as always, and look forward to chatting today.
Look forward to chatting with you as well. So first, let's talk a little bit about Lockton Companies, but then I want to talk to you about how it's been working from home with three little ones, because that's a subject near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and probably more fun of a conversation, right? So, Lockton Companies, I'm a partner at our downtown Boston office. Haven't been there since March 9th, but who's counting? But as a partner, I oversee three of our lines of business in Boston, and it's employee benefits, property and casualty, and retirement. And I think probably the average person, watching or listening doesn't really know kind of where the insurance consultant fits into the whole kind of organizational flow chart, right? So, as a partner at Lockton, we are a risk management consultant, and we sit in between, right, the employer, pick your employer, and an insurance carrier, right? So we work for organizations to help them strategize around their procurement, distribution, and communication of all things insurance. So I hope that's somewhat a good snapshot, Danielle.
And I think it's safe to say that employers need somebody like you. The expertise and just the experience that you have is huge and a huge benefit to employers and in turn their employees.
Yeah, 100%, Danielle. And it's neat. I'm kind of a cool case study, right? So most of my career was on the employer side. Worked for Valley Collaborative for a decade as an educator, as an administrator, and then was their CFO for the last 5 or so years. And right, everyone thinks that the insurance broker, which is the term used for the intermediate party, which is the consultant, everyone thinks it's really just this back and forth between the employer and the insurance carrier, pounding your fist on the table and trying to get a better rate, right? But there really is so much more to it. And as you get more upmarket, I guess is what I'd say, with larger organizations and larger complexities, there's strategies around how you fund things and how you model things and how you communicate to your employees to make sure that dollar, right, that you're spending, and when you talk about something like employee benefits, it ends up being usually the second largest expense item on any balance sheet. How is that dollar efficiently serving your employees or your organization? So there's a lot there. I promised you I wouldn't go too far down the rabbit hole because it tends to be a little granular, but you're right. There's a lot of strategy involved when it comes to serving organizations.
And it helps with recruiting and retention too. I mean, benefits is something that it's like probably aside from compensation, and it's a piece of that, the number one thing that employees and potential employees are looking for in an employer.
Yeah, spot on, Danielle. And to even double down on that, in the weird year that was 2020, right? When the work as we know it, changed to flexible and virtual. If you were to ask the average employee across different industries, what they hoped for in a benefit package, even that consideration really changed, right? We've always thought it was heavy, heavy, heavy. Give me the best medical plan. I want to pay the least but have the most coverage, right? Like that's the easiest answer. But if you were to poll employees right now, a whole bunch of things kind of rise up to the surface. Not that medical doesn't still lead the discussion, but the discrepancy between things like a flexible work program and flexible spending account and opportunities to supplement with care.com or Bright Horizons to help out with some child care or dependent care. There's a lot of things now that really weren't on the table, I'd say, even as close to 3 years ago. So it's definitely changing and definitely a strategy for organizations.
I totally agree. And I can't believe you said that. I don't even know, not a word, but 2020. I told you never to mention that.
Unfortunately, in my role, Danielle, a lot of what I do is modeling, looking backwards to project forward. So I haven't been able to strike that term from my vernacular yet, but I'll work on it, I promise.
So let's talk a little bit about 2020. So you had twins last year.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
we had twins. July 7th, we had twin boys, and they joined a sister who's 2.5 now, who will be 3 in March. So actually more like 2 3/4, right? But yeah, we have 3 under 3. It's been exciting. It's been busy, but I guess the one thing I would say is 2020 forced me to be at home for a large majority of it, and it's been very helpful. So that's my silver lining, Danielle. I can't promise we'll go quiet here for the whole conversation. You'll hear, some type of stampede at some point, but yeah, that's my story. And I know you're in the young person, clan club. What's yours been like?
I had 3 under 4, so I've never had 3 under 3. That's like you're like my hero. It's been an adjustment. I mean, basically, my during the work week, my whole thing is getting out of the house so that Zoe has a quiet place to do first grade from her computer, and I have a quiet space to do work because having 3 and 4 year old boy together is just is what you would imagine it being like. But I agree, it's a silver lining. It's going to be a huge adjustment for them, like when everything goes back to normal, because they're so used to having me around, my parents around.
Yeah. But I will say the silver lining, even moving forward, Danielle, is, I was never a work from home person. I know people are different in that respect, but I've set myself up. I can't, and I'm fortunate to work, in an organization and in a position where I can kind of dictate, what my week and what my schedule looks like. But I can't see myself ever being in the office again for 5 days a week. So even moving forward, I think I get to be a better dad, a better husband, a better family person because of 2020. So I guess another silver lining is what I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even like health wise, I've been able to cook more. And, I told you I forced myself now to drink 40 ounces of water before I can have my coffee in the morning. But kind of just the little things that when you're so busy all the time and you're bouncing from place to place, some things kind of fall to the wayside. And I've been able to kind of pick some good habits up through past
Yeah,
week.
and I don't want to put us in the same category, Danielle. My wife is a superhuman as far as the work she does, and I'd say the effort on parenting is probably like a 75-25 split, maybe 60-40 on my best days. So I don't want to compare myself to you. I have a great situation here to be able to do a lot of the work things. So just throwing that out there. Okay.
And the importance, and I've said this to others, of my children seeing me work. I'm not the type of person, I refuse to have mom guilt. So if there's some days that I have to be working a little bit more and they see me working, I make a point to tell them, like, yeah, mom's lucky. I have a job that I love, so to kind of teach them at a young age that, it's okay to have flexibility and it's good to love your job. And
Yeah, 100%.
so you've had some exciting things happen recently at Lockton Companies.
Yep. Yep. We've done a lot of great work, Danielle, and I'll just kind of give you an idea of where we sit globally, right? When you start thinking of brokers and advisors in our space, when you start thinking of the top advisor firms, right? We're in the top 10. We're number 8 if you were to go by revenue, right? But the
You're
biggest
getting
thing
a
about
reaction for that. I had to sneak one of those.
Thank you. But I'd say the biggest thing is for us is we are independently and family owned and privately held, and we're the only one inside of the top 30 that can make that distinction, right? And I won't I won't put the Lockton commercial on right now, but I will say a big differentiator between publicly held organizations that really look to work at like a 30% profit margin, and then you have your private equity firms that look to kind of work at a 20% profit margin. The Lockton family has operated at a 10% increase or a 10% ROI, for over the last 25 years. So easy way to look at it is 10 cents of every dollar goes to the Lockton family. 90 cents goes back into our business, our clients, our resources. So that's a huge differentiator for us. And kind of specific to your group, the chamber, we brought on the state of Maine and the city of Portland recently as employee benefits clients. We have 29 of the townships and school districts in Connecticut. And really, I was brought here as a partner to grow that business within Massachusetts, right? And And I know firsthand from working at a municipal organization that the finance and HR offices in these organizations is so thin, right? Because everything is geared back towards the taxpayer, the students, right? Everything's back into the classrooms or the roads or the towns or the cities. The administrative teams are so lean. So it's really a treat for us when we're able to come in and help, whether it be from a cost savings or avoidance when it comes to insurance. Then there's a ton of opportunities with your insurance program that you can supplement some great things like technology and administrative tools that a lot of people say, oh, I had no idea that that was an opportunity. So yeah, we've done some really great things when it comes to towns and cities, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of the same work within the Merrimack Valley, which you know I love so much.
Yes, you do. Bill Ricka guy through and
Yeah.
through.
Through and through. Go Indians.
No, that's so exciting, and there's so much opportunity here. And the great thing about working with you is you have a guy now, right? You're like, I'm going to call my guy, and like I said, you have so much expertise that it's helpful to have you in their back pocket. Whoever you're working with.
Yeah, I mean, who knew, Danielle, that insurance could be so exciting, you know?
It is so exciting. I'm sneaking in another one. Woo!
Yeah, yeah,
But I like that you touched upon what makes Lockton Companies different from other similar agencies as well.
for sure. Yeah, and I'm interested. You know, I've loved being part of the chamber, and it's going to be neat to talk about our work in this space with some of your members moving forward. Because again, it's just an opportunity to give back to the taxpayers and help out, you know, your administrative teams. That trust me, I've been there before. Any help with efficiencies is more than welcome. So I like having that conversation a lot.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned that it's a conversation. So anybody watching that's interested in hearing more, Sean is not a kind of guy that's going to just like strong arm you. You are happy to share knowledge, to give information, and just have that conversation with anybody who's interested in hearing more.
Yeah, for sure. You know, validate what you're doing right now, right? You know, best case scenario for me is I get a client, I get to work with more of friends of Danielle. But best case for, you know, the potential conversation is, geez, we are doing a good job. You know, we are efficient. You know, so it's a win-win conversation. And again, I'm not I would never call myself a sales guy, right? So it's really more conversational and kind of discovery type stuff.
And if anybody watching is active on LinkedIn, I highly recommend you check out Sean. I love what you're doing on LinkedIn, and you actually spoke to our Chamber Edge group about some of the cool stuff you're doing.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I appreciate you saying that, Danielle, and you're someone to look up to on there as well. But it's one of those things that I would say, if I can do it, anyone can do it, right? It's so easy a caveman could do it. So it's neat. I like it because you know, it's a place to kind of see, you know, number one, what folks are doing, where folks in your network have ended up, but also where you might be able to help somebody else, or shoot, someone like me who needs all the help you can get, where I might be able to find some resources too. So yeah, it's been a cool platform.
Oh, you're doing a great job with it. Is there anything else that you want the viewers to know about yourself or Lockton Companies?
No, again, Danielle, I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to some of the chamber members, and it's just a blast to be a part of what you're doing. So thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate your support. You've been a huge supporter of the Chamber since you joined a couple of years ago. It's been so awesome getting to know you. And one of these days, we're actually going to get to like see each other in person, which will be even better.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. I look forward to it, Danielle. But thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will be back again next time. Thank you.